Welcome to the Money Vikings Podcast, where we conquer financial freedom. Join Greg, Jerry, and Bob as they discuss everything investing and personal finance. The Money Vikings Podcast is hosted by three dads who are doing what they can each day to burn down debt and build wealth. Learn the path to true wealth. Their podcast and website, moneyvikings.com, is a treasure trove of ideas. So without further ado, here they are, the Money Vikings.
Sin stocks and death by 1,000 cuts. Sounds like Halloween is around the corner. Too bad it's too damn hot for pumpkin spice lattes, everyone. Join us on the Longboats to Wealth. Welcome to the Money Vikings Podcast number 50. Bob and Jerry, how you guys doing?
Dude, I like the pumpkin spice lattes.
Well, here's the deal. Everybody is starting to get their Halloween decorations out. But it's hot as hell outside. I mean, there's not a whiff of fall weather. No. It's like the revenge of summer, and everybody's got like goblins and ghosts, and I'm like, I don't know.
I don't want to deal with this right now.
And then our buddies over at Chinchilla Pickings were talking about pumpkin spice everything, and I was all getting excited. But then I was just like, it's too hot. I got to get an iced, Thai boba tea.
I'm just not the pumpkin spice kind of guy. I don't like it in my beer. I don't like it in my coffee. Maybe I'll take it in a pie, but
you like it in your Starbucks dividends.
Oh yes, I do.
It's spicy.
I could tell you like that. Hey guys, listen, 50 shows. What a milestone! I raise my Viking mug to all the people out there conquering your financial freedom. All of our listeners, thank you so much. Thank you for joining Premium.
Awesome.
This is great. This is so cool. Hey, speaking of Premium, for the listeners out there, we have a special discount code for Premium. If you want to join our Discord group, get our weekly newsletter, get our hot trades every week, option strategies, long-term investments, real estate analysis, etc. I think, Bob, it's TMV Listen.
Yeah, all caps, TMV Listen. So, and that's something that for people who have been with us and our listeners and stuck through it, or new listeners coming on board, we want to make sure you're getting a little special treat. Taking the extra step, so you get a little discount with that. So yeah, TMV Listen, all caps in one word.
Love it. Well, listen, everybody, it's all about keeping the faith. We're doing everything we can to burn down debt, build wealth, etc. And we're just going to keep trying to provide value and inspiration and trade ideas that make everybody money. So let's keep going. But again, it's been an awesome launch of Money Vikings Premium. We've got the weekly charting, the hot trades, long-term wealth ideas. It's been awesome to hook up with our partners at Gator Traders and Brian and that great community, Paper Gains, Penny Queen. There's just so much valuable information out there and investing ideas to choose from. You don't have to do them all. No. You don't have to do them all. Just, I don't do them all. I find the things that work for me. Yeah. And you guys find the things that work for you. And that's what it's all about. We're just putting the buffet out before you, but you can choose which buffet items.
Oh, yeah.
But there are no more buffets. Buffets are dead. But
one of the things I really enjoy working with you guys on is just kind of batting around ideas and looking at different tickers, and each of us kind of brings our different strengths and perspectives to the underlyings we're looking at, and kind of get a sense of, are they a good long-term dividend player? What do the technicals say on the short-term or long-term, or is the IV completely really high? So there's some really interesting options trades there. I mean, there's so many different ways to look at these things. So take your pick and choose your favorite.
That's the thing is, I hope people, they see from this and with us is that we have great expertise in the vast different amount of areas that we deal with, and it's all different perspectives, but collectively we come together and try to give the best of the best.
Well, it's also, guys, all environments, because the market, to me, broadly, and I think a lot of people would see this right now, it seems pretty fully valued. If you look at the S&P, there's a lot of indicators out there. It doesn't mean there aren't some values out there, but that's why I think Jerry, your options trades can work in all environments. Bob, you're charting on the stuff that's sort of more off the radar. It's not your typical Apple, Google, Microsoft,
Right.
which everybody can invest in. We're all part of that, with our index funds.
Whether you want to be or not.
Whether you want to be or not, it's very hard to get away from the Death Star.
So the people out there know, sorry to break the news to you, you are invested in one of those stocks if you're in some sort of ETF or,
I'm sure. I don't like Facebook, but I'm invested in it. Okay. Just kidding. Anyway, hey, I gotta say a word. So yesterday, I just got to say a quick word about this, guys. Yesterday was a day of remembrance, 9/11. Many of us remember where we were 20 years ago. And I got to tell you, it left a lasting impact on the way I invest and the way I approach life. I have to tell you, it hit me that hard. And I think I'm not alone. There's millions of people that feel that way about the world. But the other interesting thing that I've been realizing is that we're in this interesting transition where 9/11 is moving from memory to history. And what I mean by that is there's now a generation of investors and people and humans that they were children and they were very young or they weren't born, and so they're now looking and they're learning about these things, but they're learning about them through the lens of history, not through the lens of memory. So I found that
like us for Pearl Harbor as we were growing up. Right?
Bingo. There you go.
Well,
Pearl
speak
Harbor.
for yourselves on that one, because I'm kidding.
How old are you, Bob?
I'm kidding.
You all thought Bob was 40. He's actually 75.
Times 2. Yeah.
But anyway, it's
Greg, how did 9/11 change your investing? I'm very interested.
I'm glad thank you for asking me. And so I was a young man, kind of starting I was a young man back then. I was launching my my sort of formal career. I had been a couple of years in the workforce, was getting my feet wet in the working world and was starting to invest. And frankly, I didn't have a lot of assets at the time, but I had started a 401k. I had started saving. And from an investment perspective, half my the investments went down. We were cut in half, I remember, overnight, because there was so much fear out there. But then there was also the psychological part of it and the feeling of fear, right? There was an innocence that I think was shattered, or a feeling of security that I think we all took for granted. And that affected, I think, the way I approached a lot of things for many years. So that's just a couple of examples. There's so much can be said about it, and of course you can look back 20 years and see, where we all maybe did things right or made mistakes. But I don't know. For me, it's been a time of reflection. I also a time of thanks for those that defended us and rebuilt, rebuilt our country. Any of us could have been there. We could have been, visiting. We could have been working there. That was, a huge, a lot of people working there. So,
my wife was there before we were married, but she was at NYU and she was there with her friends, and she has a lot of interesting stories. Maybe we'll have her on the podcast one day talking about it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. She was living in New York at the time.
Oh yeah.
Oh wow. Yeah. That's So we got to go into that, but those types of things, and it reminds me, over the course of your investing life, these existential things, hopefully they won't impact you where it's like your life or your health, but if they don't, they will impact. We're really more connected than people want to maybe realize, right? And it's like you said, whether you like it or not, you have certain investments in your index funds.
Yeah.
And, when things happen.
Yeah. And also, I think you kind of raised the point that outlier events will happen,
And they can impact the market.
They will.
Very low probability things that nobody expects to have happen can happen, do happen, and will happen.
Hey, 3 years ago, how many of us were talking about a pandemic? And how we would all be on Zoom meetings, and who would have heard of a company called Moderna? It's just these things happen. So again, I guess I want to go back to, we talk a lot about, right, on our blog and our newsletter and all these other things, portfolio construction, and how are you? Again, you're managing risk that you don't even know might be there.
Right.
So anyway, had to say that. Thanks, guys, for letting me do that.
Yeah.
But I think it's important. So as we all know, before we launch into our show, we are not financial professionals. These are things we're doing. This is our analysis. I think we all know the drill, folks. We're not telling you what to invest in. This is what we're investing in. We're sharing it with everybody, but make your own choices, do your own work. So in the news, I feel like every week we have to say something about crypto. Right?
Of course.
Of course, right? Okay, so I don't know if you heard this one. So Sweden's central banker, I guess this would be like our Fed chairman, our Fed.
Like Jerome Powell.
I think this would be like R.J. Powell, right, from Sweden. Mm-hmm. Compares Bitcoin to trading stamps with your friend.
Yes. That's what I do with my friends on the weekends. We just go trade stamps, dude. I got a crazy 1997 George Washington. It's amazing. You guys should look at it.
Well, listen, Bob, I get it, but here's the deal. I always like to display both sides of an argument, okay? Because I think that stress tests your ideals and your ideas, right? Because if we're just thinking one thing and we're just barreling down that road and we're not stress testing ideas, I think that we have a problem. So, so he basically made this comment. I wanted to see what you guys thought about it. He said, private money usually collapses.
Private money usually collapses.
That was the quote.
Huh.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what he means by private money.
It is a little bit of a head scratcher, right? I mean, I actually really had to sit here and really think through it. But
here's the thing, though, and maybe I'm just thinking way beyond this. Is like, so what does that say about a privately traded company that's not in the public market, but they're successful? It doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Well, he's saying that. So I guess he's honing in on the concept of private currency, right? Like a private currency.
I think he means that's like code for it's not managed by the central bank.
Oh.
And I mean, I would argue that crypto is open source currency.
But this is what drives me crazy. It goes back to the same thing we talked about with Janet Yellen making the comments about all the illegal nefarious activity that happens with cryptocurrency nowhere else, right? It's that same. It's the boogeyman mindset that they're trying to probably get certain people to shift in a different dynamic, like a different direction. I think because there is maybe some fear on their part if people do want to venture away from more widely accepted forms of currency. What does that do to the financial system, right?
Well,
so I think
I get it, and to play devil's advocate a little bit, I do worry about a bubble in crypto, right?
Yeah.
And the effect on the broader market. I mean, if this thing got so crazy and everybody just thinks it's the only thing ever and then it implodes, I mean, you're going to have a major problem on your hands when people's, money vanishes.
Right.
Because there's not a lot of collateral behind a lot. I mean, at least with a business, if one of Papa Buffett's businesses goes down, I mean, they actually do have assets that can be liquidated.
Right. There's something to back it.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, again, this is the debates of the raging 20s, right? They continue on. I have a little bit of a simplistic take on some of this stuff. I mean, people know from listening to us that for me personally, I cap exposure to 1% to 2%.
Right.
But I'll say this, and I think you guys would agree. If Bitcoin or any of them, there's Solana now, and I mean, how many are there? We all know Ethereum. There's so many, so much going.
Mainstream, yeah.
The mainstream ones. If some of them crash tomorrow, Bitcoin or Ethereum, they're in thousands of dollars. But if they went down to like $50 tomorrow, I mean, you'd have a ton of people loading up on them and driving the price back up.
You would. You would.
Yeah. I mean, me being one of them. I mean, if it went to 50, I'd buy as many as I could.
Right. It's like going back in time or something.
Yeah. So
it's the new wave of investors that will see an opportunity to take advantage and they think they can make a lot of money. A lot of people can, right? Can make money off stuff.
Yeah. And I was hearing from a friend today, the NFT thing, that's going off. It's coming back again. It's coming back again. Maybe we need to dust off the old Money Vikings NFTs because that was fun.
The Doge ones, right?
Doge to the moon. We have the pirate.
That may still be for sale on OpenSea.
Oh, we got the Mona Lisa one, the Doge Lisa.
The Doge Lisa. Yeah.
Okay, guys. Okay, hold on, listeners. We might put them back up on OpenSea. So just hold on. You could be the first.
$20,000.
Right.
That's
funny.
Well, you can put the Doge Lisa. You can put up in your metaverse fake Roblox world. You can put it on the wall, and you can be like, "That's my Doge Lisa." So I don't know. I think it's a crazy idea.
Yeah, I love it. I like it.
Okay.
What else you got?
What else I got here? El Salvador, got to mention it. So they were the first country, I guess, to make Bitcoin a legal tender. It's kind of interesting, but I don't think it went well, right? It got off to a rocky start. That's what I heard.
I haven't kept up with it. So
they made it a legal tender. I think it was off to a rocky start. I didn't do a big deep dive into it because I guess part of me thinks that this stuff is going to exist no matter if a government recognizes it or not. I mean, do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It almost
bans it or not. It'll exist.
There you go. Yeah, a government could ban it and it's going to exist still. I mean, people are, and that's what we keep talking about, which I think can kind of be lost on people with the crypto situation. Not all of us live in nice countries with a Fed that keeps everything sort of managed. Some people live in really cruddy places that are really poorly managed. And if these systems can become more stable, I think people would, they talk about Ethereum, and I'm fascinated by this concept of it actually being a financial market in itself.
Yeah.
In ETH2, it's making things faster, more efficient. And if you're in some unbanked country with a corrupt government, but see, everybody in these countries has a cell phone. That's what people are understanding. They may not have a bank and they may not have a functioning government, but they have a cell phone. And you guys know what we do on our cell phones. We do all kinds of things. And why can't that be done? If I can do that in Texas or Idaho or California, why can't I go do it in Africa or in the Middle East or Afghanistan? Well, you do need internet. You do need the authorities to keep the internet up. Well, the authorities, if they cut down the internet, then you're in trouble. But if you have internet, I guess you can do it. So
yeah.
Anything else in the news, guys?
That's
what I got in the news.
I haven't lately been the new stuff. It's the market's doing not looking so hot. Looking like it's been a few nights of drinking and needs to take a break.
Bobby doesn't read the news. He just does hot trades and charting for our members. Right?
That's it.
That's all you're doing every week.
That's the thing is the news world to me just looks like a bunch of green and red candlesticks and formations.
It's the Matrix.
Right. And speaking of the Matrix, have you guys seen there's the new one come out, the Resurrections?
Don't get me so excited right now. We'll talk about that next show. Okay, we'll talk about that later.
I can't breathe thinking about this. Yeah. So the thing is, the reality, it is no joke. My day, whenever I shouldn't say the day, but as far as the news goes, I'm just looking at the charts, and the market itself is the weighing machine, right? And I'm just going off the technicals. If something big and catastrophic were to happen, it's going to weigh in. You can kind of make a good guesstimation on what's going to happen with price action. But that's my world. It's my world, man.
You're making money for yourself and inspiring others. I love it.
That's how we do it.
Okay, guys. So it is getting, believe it or not, even though it's hot as hell, it is getting close to Halloween. I mean, it's we're entering mid-September. So, I mean, every store I go to has the candy and everything out. And even our Twitter feed, I put up an awesome Halloween decoration design that I saw the other day. But anyway, so we're going to talk about sin stocks and things that bump in the night. So here's a couple of sin stocks for a trick-or-treater for you that could make someone some money, I think. Bob or Jerry, you want to talk to us about Draftkings?
Draftkings. Well, Bob, you just did a really awesome technical analysis on this one that I think we sent out in the newsletter this morning. So I'd love to hear your take on that.
So Draftkings. So first of all, so people know, Draftkings is an online gambling platform. From what I can see from just the technical perspective, it is sitting. It's very interesting. It's one of those situations where it's it's on the brink of, okay, this could be in a kind of a consolidation or a pullback period, or it's hit support and it's gonna rip. And bigger time frame, there's still definitely movement in this stock. There's still money in it, and as online gambling, like, it became legal in New York, and UFC, Draftkings is the official gambling platform, I guess, for UFC now, and other things adopting it. That's where you get the sentiment in the market, right? That's where you get
people love that.
People love it, and it's a massive industry. So DraftKings, this is one where, in the technical analysis, kind of laid out that just trying to see what the next week or two brings, or the next week or should bring in price action, because then that will tell me where the actual support channel is and where the price will go. But it's looking pretty good. It's pretty healthy.
There you go. Kathy Woods. She it's part of ARC. It's part of ARC. Yeah,
wow.
It's part of ARC.
Yeah,
I can't remember which one.
I'm in a trade right now. It's a fairly simple bull call spread. 65. I bought the October 15th 65 call, and I'm selling the October 15th 70 call. And DraftKings right now is 62.46 as of close on Friday. And so it's basically $3 below the lower end. I needed to go up from 60. What did I say? It was 62.46. I needed to go up above 65 to make any money, but I've got a month on that. So hopefully time works in my favor here. And
I was playing those. What I do, I think I did like some 60. I think it's some $63 calls or something like that.
Okay.
Maybe $62 calls, but I bought them like a week or so ago.
Okay.
And when the other day had actually gone up and broken above 63, I was going towards 64. I think I got out around 64-ish.
Mm-hmm.
Just because looking at the sentiment, I was like, nah, I'm gonna take my profits. I'm gonna hold them, because we talk about this all the time, guys, right? It's, don't be ashamed to have made 10, 5, whatever. Whatever, 30, 40%.
No way.
Don't try to, get everything you can out of it.
Yeah.
A gain's a gain. A profit's a profit. Yeah. I mean,
I take it.
It's times. Yeah.
Yeah.
Love it. Well, DraftKings, there you go. That's our first quote unquote sin stock. So, okay. So the next one I got to set up here, and this is a tough one for me. Okay. I've always stayed away from it, and I don't even know how I feel about it now, but it is Altria. Okay. Smoking, right? Vapor products, etc. So it's a tough one. This is what got me looking at it. I'm a big old dividend dork, it's right, totally. And it's got a 7.2% yield. I mean, that is eye-popping. It's just that's such a crazy yield on your money and return.
Right.
Yeah. So
I gotta say though, and I'll try to make sure I'm not in such a tall soapbox here, but where my mentality towards this, my thought behind this is that smoke is not healthy. I think I would like to think that common consensus is that we can all agree that's not healthy. Vaping does not make it any healthier. So I'm sorry to break the news to people there. And what they maybe want to do to try to still keep the industry afloat, not just from the consumerism, the addictive quality of the product they're putting out, but also from the investment standpoint, is trying to sweeten the deal. They're trying to bring more people to bring money to invest in them to support.
Well, Bob,
right?
I don't know. So listen, I have a lot of moral issues, right, with them.
Yeah.
For the past, again, playing devil's advocate, their stock price is determined by the market.
Right.
Okay. So they can't really control that.
Right.
They can control their dividend. Okay. They can put out a good dividend. They appear to be trying to push to a future industry that's more about innovation, the vapor products, the stuff that isn't putting the some of the really bad chemicals in you. But at the same time, they're not saints. I mean, they're trying to sell a product.
Yeah, you're not convincing me into smoke, Rick.
No. I don't want to. I don't want to. But it's just I wanted to bring it up as just there's investments out there. I mean, we talk about everything, I tend to be someone that wants to put, money is a vote in a way, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where you put your money with your consumer, behavior in what you buy and where you put your money, where you invest, you're voting. So yeah, I mean, there's such a great point or position to just say, hey, I'm not going to touch stocks like that. Yeah. But they're out there, and do your research, look into what they're doing. Here's one that I think you can get behind. Okay.
I don't even know why you put this one on Sin Stocks, but let's hear it.
Got it. Now I see where this guy's going. It's called Innovative Industrial Properties, and they specialize. This is really interesting, actually. I came across this one a couple weeks ago, started doing a deep dive on it. This is a real estate investment trust that specializes in the cannabis industry. And I think they will, not only will they help a cannabis company with you see what Jerry's saying. Why is this a sin stock? This is nothing sinful about it. I know we're trying to be edgy here.
I know.
We're
being a hard time here.
I know we're being this isn't C's Candy anymore.
There's creams that help you with arthritis and all
There is proven medical.
Proven
medical qualities like actual.
Hey, you know what? Actually, you got me, and I that is a really awesome point. I didn't think of that. You're absolutely right. So everybody knows this. We're using the term sin in a very loose, fun way.
I was just waiting for the show to. No heads up on.
We're not judging anybody here. I mean, everything.
I was going to bring this up.
Everything we're talking about is legal. I mean, it's not whatever. It's no one's getting. Well, anyway, okay. Let's focus on this. So it's a REIT.
This is IIPR, right?
Yes. IIPR.
Yeah.
I find it really interesting. So it's this REIT that specializes in the cannabis industry. I think they'll even set up people with the storefronts. I think they have a flagship store in where's their flagship store? They have these really fun stores, I guess. For people
Greg's Garage. Is that?
No.
I think it's MedMen, maybe. MedMen's one of the ones that.
Oh, is that them? Okay, I see the advertisements.
I don't know if it's them or not, but I see the advertisements too, or so I've heard.
So let me tell you from a technical perspective. Before you get into this, I do want to say this is.
Go ahead.
This is a beautiful thing. Is that it may not hold, but this is where we start looking at technical indicators, and at some point I'll start teaching this stuff. But it's price on the daily chart beautifully contacted, confirmed, and wanted to then bounce away from the TWAP 30. So it's a 30 period time weighted average price. That indicator plays a massive role in the market because it's where the stock exchange algorithms trade off of it. So, so the price touched it, didn't like it, like dipping its toe in acid water and wanted to get away. So it touched it and it started moving away. However, it did close to it. So it doesn't mean it's safe. Price could still break down below it, but it's just it did kind of show presence.
Well, there you go. I'm looking, for me, I'd look at a couple year time horizon on this one, but and then again, REITs have the advantage of paying out that steady dividend. They have to pay out 90% of their profits in the dividend. So
by law, right?
Yeah, they get tax advantages, I believe, for that. So anyway,
this is the long-term play. I mean, because the reality is it's not if, it's when I think the legalization occurs. I think more things are coming to the surface, more research is being done, and I think a lot of positive light.
It's interesting you bring up the concept of legalization, because that actually, for full disclosure, could be a risk for this, because this company is able to specialize, right? But if cannabis is legalized, that I believe would open them up to all kinds of traditional financing to get like mortgages and loans. This company, I think, is taking all that risk on for the industry. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Somebody, I think, walks into a bank right now and says, well, I need to take out $1 million loan to open this big, center. I think traditional banks would find that risky at the moment.
I think you're right. I think they won't. Yeah. They actually won't entertain the idea.
So I think the regulation is going to help. I mean, it just seems to me it's a matter of time before all the rest of the states flip over and federally it becomes legal. So, but there is risk. You definitely have to be aware of that.
Yeah. Well, they're just, another idea. They're fun to talk about. I can tell you that.
Oh yeah.
So here's one. Again, we're using the word sin stock really loosely here, but the last one we were going to talk about is Raytheon, and it's nothing sinful about it, but they do make weapons systems, and that's kind of crazy. But they're they're a defense contractor, but they're also in aerospace, right? So it's a lot about we've talked about space a lot on the show as kind of a next investing frontier, but Raytheon again is looking pretty good. It's a dividend aristocrat. I think it's looking at 18% growth year over year. Hyper growth company. It can be hard to get. Sometimes dividend aristocrats are pretty expensive, and you'll get that 5% growth going on, and that steady. That steady dividend, but you won't get the hyper growth. So I don't know. This might have both. So something to consider.
This is one that I would say just word of caution is, linking to the correlation to stock market, right? So it is showing similar kind of reactiveness and signs of maybe need a cool off period. On larger time frame, this is monthly, so that we're talking about something that maybe takes a few months to iron out. But just word of caution is just make sure you're aware of price action on this one. But if space becomes really prominent, they have a footing.
I would say. Yeah. I don't know if they're in ARC-X or not. I have to check that, but they really could be. So, well, that's kind of our, that's our pre-Halloween list of sin stocks. So different ideas, interesting to talk about. Everybody has to make investment decisions based on their own, moral judgment. I want to be as much of an ESG investor as I can, because I think it's good karma. And actually, I think in the long run, it's going to be better. But I don't know, maybe some of these are ESG. I don't know. I'm kind of joking around here. I'm sure. Well, okay, guys, let's talk about death by a thousand cuts. So on Money Vikings, we don't just talk about the investing side, right? We want to talk about the saving and, a bit of the frugality side. And the reason is simple, especially in the beginning when you're getting started. You got to have savings and frugality habits in place, because it allows you to access the initial capital you need to get started. Right. I mean, it's that so you can build good credit. Then, later on you can get into a situation where you're borrowing money to make more money. But that takes a while and has more risk. So I am a believer, I think you guys might agree with me, in personal finance. I actually believe that, a lot of personal finance gurus, they're pumpkin spice latte shamers. Okay. It's like never spent, and I heard, what's the Shark Tank guy the other day?
Kevin O'Leary,
Mr. Wonderful. And he was commending this guy who was a multimillionaire, and he never bought a coffee at Starbucks. He never bought a coffee. I never buy, he's like, it's such a waste of money. But, and I'm not saying do that every day, but, my point is this. Sometimes it's about getting the big things right. Okay. Spending within our means, getting a practical car, if that's what you can afford, not, if you can't afford it and you don't own a home and you go lease the new Mercedes-Benz, E-Class, like, what are you doing? Right. Getting housing in check, having the right house for what you need that you can afford, auto enrolling in your 401k or self-directed IRA. So you get these big things in place. In a lot of ways, you've already set yourself up, right, for a trajectory of building wealth. But there is also the little things, okay? And our monkey brains can do a funny thing. We have present moment bias, and this can typically get the best of us. We will click very quickly on online buying. We'll spend money when we're out that we probably shouldn't without thinking through it. And I do it too. I do it all the time. And it's just this. It's just one time. It's just, but after a while it adds up. But I'm not going to shame you over a pumpkin spice latte. Okay?
I think the thing is, like, there's so much to unravel here, is that it's okay to occasionally indulge. Don't overdo it. Like, I think people get so much in this habit, like, okay, well, somebody's giving me the green light, so I'm going to go drop a lot of money on something. It's like, no, we've done very well with our money over the years, but even with that, we still know that it's okay to indulge. Just don't overdo it. You can,
Well, I think you hit the nail on the head, Bob. This is what would drive me crazy. Okay, let's take a hypothetical person. Let's say they have massive amounts of consumer debt. Okay, let's say they have $35,000 on a credit card. They decided that they didn't have time to auto enroll in their 401k, and they haven't been saving at work for the last 10 years, and they don't own a home, but they drive through the Starbucks every day and drop $12 on breakfast.
Oh, jeez.
And there's people that do it.
I know.
In a very nice car they're leasing.
Yeah, right. In the very nice car they're leasing. I would just be, listen, I don't judge people, but if I was them, I'd want to take a hard look in the mirror and say, what am I doing? I mean, I'm not building anything here. Is there a way to cut that back to every other day and take your, $3,000 savings a year and pop it in an index fund? I mean, you'll have something to save for it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So anyway, we're about balance. We're not preachers or telling people, to feel shameful about everything. We're just, about balance.
Well,
so
we're trying to help people make a little wiser decision on that. And it's also showing, this is the stuff that we're working on for our members, is that we're illustrating things to show them, like, hey, that this exact point, Greg, right, is if you didn't spend X amount of dollars on Starbucks every day, maybe you cut it back to once, maybe cut 2 or 3 days out of the equation. What does that equate to over the year? Now, if you took that and shifted it into something that was making you money, now what does that look like? Right? It's illustrating that for people so they really understand, like, this impact and how much of a difference in life
have that broader view. Hey, listen, if the person owns a home, they're maxing out their 401k, and they're driving the Toyota like me, you know what? In a way, I would think I don't really like to budget that much, like in a lot of detail.
So, Greg, are you giving me permission then next week because I do all those things? Are you giving me permission to get the new iPhone next week?
Get it?
Well,
I did.
I mean, I get, Dave. I mean, not to go into your particular, the details of your situation, but from what I know about you, I don't know. I would think yes, and the reason is this. The reason is this. Yes, that's an expensive luxury. You know that. But I know you. You're doing all the right things in all the other areas. Will having that iPhone affect like your retirement someday? Are you going to miss a bill next month because of it? Are you no, you're not. I mean, you might just enjoy being frugal.
Yeah.
And that you might get a kick out of that, like, oh, I've denied myself the iPhone for a while, but in general, Jerry, I'm not a fan of buying the iPhones right out the gate, right?
Yeah.
Because
this is going to be
no, I was going to say always buy like an older used model, right? I mean,
yeah. No, I agree. I've done that most of my life, but no, I did actually splurge last year, so I don't think I necessarily need the upgrade. What I'm afraid of is this monkey brain thing that you're talking about. Apple will undoubtedly come out with some feature that is only in the new one that I don't know what it is now, but on Tuesday at 10 o'clock Pacific, when I watch the show, I will realize that I can't live another minute without that feature.
Yeah. You want a cartoon monkey in the background of every picture.
Exactly. Yeah.
Just wait, Jerry. Just wait. You've got a pretty nice iPhone. Just wait. You'll get it. That feature's coming.
You've gotten my approval. Green light.
Yeah, I'm just joking around.
Jerry, should I buy a Tesla? That'd be the real question.
Yes.
Yes,
you should.
You should buy 4 or 5 of them if you want.
Oh yeah.
You've been talking about that as long as I've known you.
I've been talking about that for so long, and I'm still driving the Toyota. I'm such a
it's like
imagine the savings on gas you'll have.
I know. That's true. That's true.
So
that should be factored in. Okay, talking about savings. So this is what I'm not good about, guys, either. Toys for the kids. I mean, the kids have enough toys, and the stores know what they're doing. I mean, the toy thing's gotten out of hand.
hold on. Let's give some real world parental advice here. Okay. So for all those listeners out there that are expecting there's a baby on the way, they're, or maybe their kid, maybe that they just had a kid, maybe the kid's not even 1 year old yet. Buy them cardboard boxes. That is
Buy them.
all.
How about just use the ones that you
Just use the
from
ones you have,
Amazon that pile up in your door.
Yeah, go to Costco, get your groceries, and then the cardboard boxes they send you home with, just leave those out for the kids. They have colors on them. I will tell you how many times, Jerry, Greg, you guys, let me know if I'm wrong on this. How many times when we bought our kids growing up something for Christmas, and they were more interested in playing with the cardboard box than the item you got them.
Absolutely. Especially when they're younger.
Oh,
yeah, when they're little.
Just
Don't
listen to us,
don't
people.
don't wait.
I was Jerry grew up playing with coffee can lids.
There you go.
Yeah.
I was eating lead paint.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go.
One pair of shoes. One pair of shoes right here.
Explains a lot, Bob. But move on.
Well, I don't know. Just putting it out there, guys. I it just drives me crazy because, hey, Target, that's a good stock, but for a reason, because every time I go there, I'm like, they have got that mind control psychology part of this thing down. They put the toys right where I see it. They've put everything in the right place. Dude. And then they know what your child's going to say. They know you want to get out of the store. Mm-hmm. Just grab the damn thing. Just take it. Yeah, just throw it up on the.
That has worked. Yeah.
Sounds like a sin stock to me.
Yeah, it does.
Oh, now we're talking. See,
Yeah,
it's the world isn't so black and white, is it?
No.
It's not so black and white. Okay, clothing. Here's my new thing with clothing, guys. I was a big old Versace Gucci guy for many years.
Dude,
right. Yeah.
Just gold. Remember I had the gold chains and I would just unbutton like the very top.
You did.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm totally kidding. I was never like that. Everybody just know.
Greg was like body glove and
In the 80s I was.
Oh yeah, you were.
Hell yeah, I was body glove.
Last week I was too.
Yeah, body gloves are pretty cool. But okay, here's the thing. What I'm trying to do lately is, so number one, for the pocketbook and the planet, I'm trying to do more quality. Okay, so quality stuff that you can buy and you'll have it for a long time. It'll last years and years. And I'm just thinking quality, it might cost a little more up front.
It does. It's
right?
worth it.
But it's worth it. I think it's worth it. So, I don't know, just throwing it out there.
It is so easy to go at least from, I'm into tech and gadgets. Any cool gadget I see out there, it is very easy to find some sort of very cheap clone on Amazon and have it delivered immediately via drone to my door.
Right.
But they don't last very long. I can tell you that. And the ones that, the name brand, better quality items with the guarantees, those seem to work a lot longer.
And so you're saying even if you've spent more, you've probably saved.
That is what I'm
run.
Saying. That is exactly what I'm saying.
Okay.
I will agree with Jerry on that. Is that I can say sometimes saving $1 or $2 on an item because there's some sort of discount, it's on clearance, something like that, isn't necessarily really saving you.
It's short-term saving.
Short-term saving, yes, but when down the road you actually have to replace that item numerous times, and you're trying to use a discount every time. It will bite you sometimes.
Nice. All right, Bob. I'm gonna blow your minds with this one.
Oh, give it to
me. Please, everyone, please. I've done this several times, and this works. I'm telling you, this works. Call your damn car insurance company. I'm just telling you, just call them. I have called several times over the years, and all I've done is talked with a very nice person and asked for a discount, and they've given it to me.
Yeah.
It was, and I sound like a Warren Buffett Geico commercial right now. 15 minutes. 15 minutes can save you 15%.
Yes.
But actually, there is actually something to be said about this. I've done it several times. I actually don't have Geico for car insurance. I have another company. But anyway, the point is this. I've called them a couple times, and one time I just called them and I said, I just want to get a better rate. I heard there's better rates out there. And the lady was like, sure, I'll work with you on a better rate. She looked at everything. She's like, oh, do you like that coverage? She went through everything. And she's like, yeah, how about I knock $7 off a month? And I was like, okay, hey, that was worth the call to me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
70
it's-
something dollars. I don't
Yeah.
do math, but more than $70 a year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The other time, so people might not have thought of this. A lot of people since the pandemic are actually not driving as much. They're not driving into work every day. They don't have those long commutes. They might be doing more like short little, trips to the store, like around their house. And you need to call, I called the company and said, I'm not putting as many miles on every year. And that dropped the amount every month.
A lot of auto insurance companies have been doing that automatically too, just because.
Okay.
We got that. I didn't even have to make a call, but that's a really good point if that hasn't happened for you yet.
Okay.
That's
So I'm
great
just saying,
ammunition to call up with and say, yeah.
just start with that, right?
Yeah.
And go from there. But I'm telling you, sometimes if you just call them and say, I'm just looking for a way to reduce my monthly amount, I've found that they work with you. I don't know if it's my charm. I don't know what it is.
The boyish charm.
I don't know what it
boy
is.
band charm.
It's the boy band charm. Anyway.
Totally.
I mean, that kind of thing works with late fees too. Always pay your credit card bills and your mortgage and everything on time. But God forbid you miss something, you forget about something, you can always call. It's definitely a first step. A medical bill, whatever. Just call and ask if they'll waive the late fee. Usually for first timers, they will.
Yeah. So much stuff, guys. So those are a couple of our big ones. Just there's ways to trim little expenses here and there. I'll throw it out there too. I mean, we use the Cash App for discounts. That's another thing that I'm a big old Chick-fil-A sauce guy.
It's the best. It's the best.
It really is pretty wild.
I gotta say,
making me hungry.
I
They're
know.
closed Sunday. They're closed Sunday.
They're closed Sunday. You can't go today. We talked about it
tonight. Damn.
You can't go tonight, but tomorrow. But yeah, I get discounts on the Cash App with that. Other things that I go to, just throwing that out there.
Do you double dip and use the Chick-fil-A app and load
literally
the Cash
and
App?
figuratively?
No, you double dip into the Chick-fil-A sauce. No, use the Chick. This is a good savings hack if you're a Chick-fil-A.
Give it to me.
Use the Chick-fil-A app to get points and free stuff at Chick-fil-A, but load it up with your Cash App card to also get the Cash App discount.
Dude, can you hear my mind blowing? Are you kidding me?
I'm not kidding.
Jerry,
blowing out
Get the kids some
right
free smoothies.
I don't want to think about Chick-fil-A sauce blowing anywhere. It's really okay. Jerry, that is genius. I knew you were a genius, but that's pretty awesome. Jerry is actually kind of a savings genius.
So good.
All right, guys. I don't know. There's more of this stuff on premium. That's all I can tell you. It's just like there's all kinds of ideas, and I just think they're little things, and they're like easy to do, and you just do them, and it starts adding up.
The stuff that we're adding to this, to all this, and the stuff that is going to be coming out really soon is just. It's a lot, and it's so easy, and the guides, the process, and everything that we show people, walk through, the stuff that we're showing for investments and trades. I mean, I'll even tell you, Jerry, like, to toot our horns here, is you have people who sign up are kind of uncertain of it, and right off day one, you get them into an investment or a trade that they've paid for over a month worth of the premium service in one day, and that's just the starting point. So,
Bob, you got me bathing in Chick-fil-A sauce. This is great. There's extra. There's extra in the fridge right now. So
I'll be over.
Hey, Jerry, talk to us about grid bots. Another way to make money.
Grid bots. Yeah, they've been a lot of fun. I've played with them. I've written some articles in the past that you can check out at moneyvikings.com. But recently I was talking with Jason at Paper Gains and going over a different currency, or not a currency, a different crypto called AVAX, Avalanche, which I know, Bob, you've been trading that as well too. And I've used the grid bots on KuCoin before as the spot trading grid bot, which doesn't use any margin or leverage or anything like that. It's kind of like the safe way to do it. And I've made some money running some grid bots for about 100 days or so. But then on Friday, I loaded in, I kind of just followed along with Jason's idea of this AVAX perpetual future against USD Tether. And it was a 5X, which I've never played with this leverage before in KuCoin. It was a 5X thing. And very quickly I was up like $100. So
Wow.
I ended up closing the trade just because I wanted to get the profits, and I'll take a look again and see where it lines up on the technicals. But man, that was a wild ride, just kind of watching this avalanche crypto that I had never dealt with before just go up. And there's risk there. I mean, you put in some money, but you get liquidated if it goes below a certain amount.
I'm the example.
Oh, really? Tell me, Bob.
Yeah, let's just just so people know.
This is the opposite of Chick-fil-A sauce.
This is the opposite. This is a dry run. So people heed this warning. Take Jerry's lead on this stuff. I refer to Jerry as the wizard of the crypto and options strategies. But I jumped into KuCoin, right? Not knowing what I was doing and never done it before. Because I've just been your standard, crypto investor. So in the futures, when you invest money and there's leveraging, right? They have margin that you can use. There was a coin that was looking to just keep going up, and I got into it fully leveraged and went to bed, woke up the next day, and I was down to $1, I think $1.04, $1.06.
You made money. You made money disappear.
Yeah, I made money disappear.
That's not cool.
You're welcome.
No, that's not
South
cool.
Park.
Well, sometimes it's important to learn from our mistakes.
Yeah. I mean, I just had some money, a little bit of money sitting in KuCoin, and I use this for just sort of learning about grid bot trading and just trading and perpetual futures. It's not the brokerage account. It's just like kind of fun play money. So if it disappeared, I'd be upset, but I wouldn't, I'd still be able to pay my mortgage and all that other stuff. But yeah, you got to be careful.
Buy an iPhone.
Stuff. Yeah, exactly.
We get it. We get it, Jerry.
The other one that I got that I entered also that was very interesting is kind of like making your own ETF, and you get to pick all the different cryptos that you load up into there. So I picked XRP, Luna, Tether, which is a stable coin, Link, and MATIC.
Man, you picked a lot of like
meme kind of
kind of like wow, we're taking a chance here.
Or maybe there's a Money Vikings ETF that's going to come out in the market someday.
Maybe, but you can you can clone this one. I think you can clone other people's. I don't think I'm on the leaderboard or anything, but this thing auto rebalances every hour or every interval that you decide. So if you want to always stay 25% cash and 10% Luna and 30% MATIC, as long as it adds up to 100%, it'll just constantly rebalance for you. And it's really kind of neat. I'm up
That's pretty cool.
$6 on that, but it's just kind of fun to watch that one. And I'm not as nervous about that one. There's no leverage, there's no margin or anything like that. So check those out. We do in all our podcasts have in the show notes a link to KuCoin if you want to help us out. It helps support the show. But that's all I'll say about that.
That's cool. For next week, we call Bob and Brian the bearded gator. So I think it's pretty cool, man. The bearded gator. What are you looking at tomorrow, Bob? Do you guys have anything teed up yet?
Yeah, my thing is I really have put a lot of focus on the SPY. Just seeing what's going on. We last week it was showing that tipping point because prior I'd called out that there is a very clear identifiable pattern where it's every 30 days or every roughly month, and it's offset by the mid-month. So it lands in the middle of the month. The market does this sort of pullback, and it just like clockwork is doing it. On
Expiration Friday.
Yeah, Expiration Friday. And so I had it scheduled out to be around the 14th. What is that? Tuesday. It was going to start the process of that again. Well, we started the process, it looks like last Tuesday. So unless this is a bigger pullback and borderline correction, it was interesting. So I'm keeping an eye on it because I do have, I hope people know by now, I started hedging against the market months ago. And this is, I slowly accumulate and build position with UVXY. and or SQQQ. And that's one of the plays that I make when the market is going south, to actually make money still, to actually save your net value.
Manage risk.
Manage risk.
Manage
So
risk.
you got to hedge it.
I'm with you, and I've been, I haven't been playing it the same way you have, but I've been bolstering, against a correction a little bit, right? I'm not fearful, but just making sure that there's plenty of quality and resilience in the portfolio. Increase real estate positions, holding probably more cash than usual, right?
Cash, right?
Stuff like that.
But I will. Other than that, though, I will say is that I actually have some stuff teed up for the premium members that I've found quite a few reversals, and then also potential big long-term investments that I'll be bringing up for our members. Yeah.
Okay. Well, if listeners of the podcast do sign up, use the TMV listen coupon. So you'll get a big discount. That's all we got this week, guys. We will launch next week and obviously be communicating with our premium members about all the weekly activity. Bob, Jerry, it's been a pleasure.
Cheers.
Have a wonderful week, everyone.
See you later. Bye bye.
Happy trading.